Hey, my name is Timmy Arnold. This is Left the Abyss. It's, been a while since your last stimulus check, huh? Is it coming? Or are Americans entirely on their own? Nancy Pelosi. Ugh. Has been getting a lot of flack. Is it warranted? Well, let's find out. Let's start by watching a dumpster fire.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go
it
into
doesn't-
that.
yeah,
You
we've gone
evidently
through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in
All right,
person.
Madam Speaker,
virtually.
these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
no, we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to
All
you.
right.
But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
And it's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them.
who
And we
are
represent
trouble
them.
getting
And
by
we
on
represent
these
them.
long food
And we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically important.
Yikes, that did not look good, Nancy. That was painful. You really are not making your case very well. I don't know how you're letting Wolf Blitzer casually dissect you like that. Jesus Christ. Hurts to watch you keep digging yourself deeper and deeper every time he tries to end this segment. Your corpse was battered enough, but you let him destroy the remains. Anyway, what's the background here? The House proposed a $2.2 trillion stimulus that would give Americans another $1,200 check. As Trump does, he threw a total fit about this, and even other Republicans were lambasting him for it, as they had elections to win too. Since his opinions were those of the people who talked to him, obviously he turned around immediately and took it back. But not all the way. He seemed so excited to make a deal now. What was their offer? Cut it by $400 billion. And also include something called a liability shield. Businesses would be indefinitely protected from lawsuits from workers or customers who caught COVID at their establishment due to businesses' neglect. That is a dystopian level of corporate immunity. It also definitely ensures that businesses would feel as though they can relax on their scant current protections. This really sours what would normally be a mediocre but acceptable Trump-signed check. But on the other hand, Americans haven't been helped since April. The American people are all going homeless, hungry, or barely holding on to not being that. The economy is still barely standing. We need some money. The government is not going to protect anyone from the root of the problem, from the virus to the layoffs, so the least we can expect is compensation. But it turns into a political, bureaucratic nightmare just to keep people alive in this country. The gears grind as a system which was not built to serve you tries to compute how the hell to do such a thing. And the back and forth bargaining with Americans between the White House and Rep House is not the only barricade to you feeling any relief. If Pelosi did make this deal, there's another roadblock. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has promised to block this. He wants, at the maximum, $500 billion and 0 checks for the people. Apparently, it matters what he thinks too. Checks, balances, roadblocks, stagnation, bargaining, strike-downs. People starving. People who suffered under capitalism suffering more as it decays. I keep hearing everyone is having a hard time right now. Everyone is worse off than before. This has been attributed to COVID, but the truth is this is very American. The response to COVID and the reliance upon a system that wasn't built to provide for you in the first place, and it wasn't. It was built to control and to exploit from day one. It has gotten more efficient at that. Ahem. Trump is doing this deal to gain favor with the population. It certainly would work. His name on a check equals many more votes from the masses whose political engagement begins and ends with, "Ooh, free money. Thanks, Trump. Based. You got my vote." But he cannot seem too spendy either. If she took it, it's exactly what Trump wants in his last shot to legitimately win. But he's really far behind now. Turns out we didn't need Biden to do anything for us because Trump betrayed himself enough times to make Biden out to be the lesser evil to most people. It is doubtful he would legitimately win even with a boost. Though with Trump we must consider the probability that he will try to win illegitimately, to claim the election a fraud and get his new court to side with him. A close race is easier to steal than a blowout. The politics of whether she should or shouldn't take the deal, of whether or not she should keep fighting it, is really overshadowed to me by this entire electoral sham. This is where we get lost in the sauce a little bit. People, the system is not built to help you. The system does not know how to. If it feels forced to in order to have a society to control, it struggles, it stalls. Its priorities do not align with your needs. The whole fucking thing. This, to me, is a shining example of the failures of our government to provide for the people. A government with the ideology of control rather than service. It will not be there for you. It will not give you food, water, shelter, healthcare, a job, justice, or fucking, God forbid, representation. It is solely designed to provide for itself and corporations for funding. Its services capital. I have to talk about electoral politics because that's the corruption we're stuck with. But by now I'm going to rant about tearing the whole fucking thing apart every time I have to. I'm going to remind you how fucked you are. Sorry if it's uncomfortable, but we can't be complacent with the system, even if we take the time to politically navigate it, just to have a chip in the game. It is a foundation which must be interacted with, and we will continue to talk about doing just that, but if we aren't ready for a whole new system, fucking reevaluate. We must keep that in mind. America, as we know it, is unacceptable and must go. Be careful not to give it to the people who want to take it for fascism, but don't be okay with its continuation either. I'll end with this. A reminder. A promise. They will not help you. They will not save you. Even if a check churns its way through the political process and eventually ends up in your hands, go ahead. Pay rent for a month. Then wonder how many months until a hypothetical next one. I don't mean to be a doomer. I mean to give you an antagonist. I mean to show you who's doing this to you. It's Trump. It's Pelosi. It's McTurtle. It's the whole fucking system. So here's your motivation. Help isn't coming. They don't care about you. They cannot care about you. They are psychopaths who exist to exploit you. This is our government hard at work. Not to be a doomer, but how are we not doomed? Just a reminder who did this to you. All of them. This has been Left the Abyss. Like, comment, share. Thank you for watching Left the Abyss, mortals. Subscribe. Not the story I expected to get me so excited.